We had a something last minute come up that was very funny before this special episode of the TJD Sports Podcast. We're gonna try. Jacob's gonna get so mad at us for laughing this hard at the beginning, but
Kentucky,
we're,
Kentucky.
we're gonna try our best to reel it in here. But, but Tyler's gonna just look over on his screen a few times and just get the giggles, and that's just gonna happen, and we're just gonna prepare for it. But again, Jacob is in another country. I need you to get it, Jacob. I can just see our text now from Jacob telling us to lock it in. Oh, okay. For those, just to paint a little bit of a picture, some would say.
How are you going to explain this?
When you
Oh my god. We've been laughing for 2 minutes straight.
when when you join it. Okay, we have a figure.
RV. Dylan had the music.
I'm dying over here. Okay. Something funny happened basically. I don't think I can get through explaining it without making us laugh again. Okay. For our friends that are watching this, we'll just have to explain what happened later on. I think I'm good now. So
I stopped looking at the picture. We've got the lock. My stomach hurts so bad.
I was doing good. I was about to do.
You want to take it from the top again? I'm good.
What an intro to the TJ Sports Podcast. Jacob, if you're still here after watching the first few minutes,
First
when you wake up,
4.5 minutes.
when you wake up in the morning and rewatch our episode, hopefully you've made it to this point by now. Tyler, I think I want to start the episode off to a little bit different than what we normally do. I want to start with baseball. If that's okay. There's a lot of a lot of sluggers that are signing certain places. People getting traded. Some pitchers signing as well. One thing that I'm trying so hard to look you straight in the face and not laugh right now.
I'm
Um,
looking at my side of the screen.
um, yeah. So a player that you're a Cubs fan, obviously. A player that you did not want to get traded was traded earlier today. You gotta look up. I want you to look
I'm
him
sorry.
up.
I was texting Jerry because I texted him. I said, "You just missed me and Dylan geeking for 5 minutes straight." He said, "About what?" I sent him the picture. I said, "This is Dylan's picture."
Yeah, I feel like I gotta say it at this point. So for those of you who don't know that have made it through the Google Fest, um, it's the stream when you join in, it takes a screenshot, um, live screenshot, and that's what it uses as your profile picture for the stream. And let's just say mine is it's an awkward angle. Um, before that
That's to say the least.
yeah, it's a weird angle, but yeah. So Tyler, you're a Cubs fan. There's someone that you were holding near and dear to you that got traded today to my New York Yankees. I'll let you take it away if you want to talk about who that was.
Well, the thing is that that I didn't want this guy to go. Right. I definitely wanted somebody else to go. Dylan. Um, I wanted Suzuki to take the place of Cody Bellinger being traded to the Yankees, but it for the Cubs though. After reading about it, it was smart. I think it was smart on their side of it because they still owed Cody Bellinger $23.5 million, and his contract had a buyout. And now the
Yeah,
Cubs are going to have to pay 5 million of that. So that freed up so much more money for them to go get another pitcher. I think they I did see something today. I think they were talking about Jesus Luzardo,
that'd be a good
which
lefty option.
yeah, yeah.
He's still young, relatively. Um, yeah, but Cody Bellinger, you're still left. Cody Bellinger, I believe he's still, yeah, he has 2 years on his contract, but he has a buyout option in the final year, I believe, is the situation. Something that's funny, kind of not really, but it's funny in my opinion. Um, Cody Bellinger's wife is actually John Carlos Stanton's ex, so that'll be a little
Yeah, I saw that. I
interesting.
saw that on Instagram the other day when all the Cody Bellinger news started coming to light.
Yeah,
They were saying, "Oh, this will be a fun picture in New York."
yeah. Would you be able to do that? If you, your wife, one of your new outfield buddies, is your wife's ex? I don't know, but hey, if they're, she has 600 dingers to her name. Is all I'm saying. She's she knows how to pick them. she she loves the long ball. But anyways, so uh, I don't know if there's any other baseball news that you have.
This is going to be a just our viewers are not going to understand why we're laughing as hard as we are the entire show. But we're gonna get through it. We're gonna
We
work
push
through it.
through it.
Yeah, we're
Jacob's not gonna understand. I feel like we just need to have that saved up for when Jacob asks, because I know he's gonna ask at like 4 in the morning tomorrow.
hold on before we move on to
I just know that was like the biggest like thing
yeah,
that
that was
happened.
the biggest. That was the biggest one. I'm just, I looked it up to see if there's any others that were a not big time, but
Yeah. Well, if you find one, throw it out there. If not,
apparently Luis Castillo
oh,
is talking about getting traded to either. This one just
And
says the Red Sox. It
he's
says
currently on the Mariners right now.
mhm,
Hmm.
that he could go to the Red Sox. Pete Alonso trade rumors. Yankees rumors. Alonso Goldschmidt eyed. So you could see Juan Soto and Pete Alonso flip flopping
And this is what we were talking about. Like,
in the
yeah,
Yankees getting first
Soto's
baseman.
generational, but and obviously every team would love to have a Juan Soto on your team. I mean, who wouldn't want a Juan Soto on your team? But when you miss out on the sweepstakes of Juan Soto, when you were prepared to give Juan Soto a $765 million contract, you were planning on spending that anyway. So now you get to spend that same amount on possibly four or five
Yeah,
different guys that can build a better all around roster versus just bringing someone back that was on
the
your team
Yankees.
last
The
year.
Yankees. I know this. I'm not a Yankees fan, right? But the Yankees are, after missing out on the Juan Soto sweepstakes, they are making a lot of trades to bolster that team.
They're doing what they're supposed to do, for
Yeah,
sure. If you're gonna miss out on Juan Soto, this is what you have to do because they can't go into next year with the same roster they had last year minus Juan Soto. You know, you have to.
yeah.
If you can't bring him back, you need to
Well,
now. But that's the thing. If they would have brought him back, I don't know if we would have seen like maybe one other major addition to the team. Like I don't know how
yeah.
much else they would have been able to.
I think if they would have brought back Juan Soto, they would have solely focused on pitching alone. I feel like
Yeah,
that be I don't know it, but they bolstered that too. So I mean, the Yankees are really doing a good job over there in New York, which kills me to say because
yeah. Well,
but like back to the Cody Bellinger thing too, though Cody Bellinger is a first baseman and an outfielder, right? They have a hole
yeah.
at first base, which then I saw something that was talking about where your outfield then would be Aaron Judge or with hold on, I messed that up. You
No,
could
you're good.
your potential outfield could look like Cody Bellinger, Aaron Judge, and who's your other?
Dominguez.
Yeah, or Trent Grisham.
Yeah. Well, that's the
Like,
thing.
or
I think.
you can even put Jazz out there too.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, and they have Spencer Jones in
Hmm.
the minors, former Vandy,
Yep.
um, former Vandy big time slugger that's doing really good in the minors for the Yankees. If he isn't traded at some point for a big time player, he could come up there. So they have options in the outfield is what I'm saying. So they have the flexibility. Cody Bellinger could be the first baseman if they really wanted him
Yeah.
to, because they have options in the outfield.
I
Um,
think
I
I
think they
think
need to get one anyways, but I don't think they need to go out and get like an expensive first baseman. I think they could comfortably just go get just a solid. For you don't want to get a bottom of the barrel guy brought
like
in, but get
Alonso.
someone. Yeah, get someone that like will do their job and has gives you the flexibility of, oh, okay, today we're gonna put Cody Bellinger over there, but you can DH for us. We can give Stanton a break. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We want Stanton in the lineup. Let's give someone in the outfield a day off. Let's put you back at first. Let's put Bellinger in the outfield. They have so many different options if they.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the one thing that the Yankees are missing because they still have a hole over at third base. I think that is their one thing that they're still missing.
yeah,
And who knows? Who knows who? It's not over yet.
yeah. I mean, with Oswaldo Cabrera and Oswald Peraza, neither one of them have really fully figured it out.
Yep.
They've both seemed to be really good, like bench options and depth pieces. They're both amazing AAA players, but at the major league level, they haven't really. They're both good prospects. They just
They haven't
haven't
stepped
fully
into
gotten
that.
it together.
Yeah, they
But that's
haven't
okay.
fully stepped into that
Yeah,
role of being an everyday big league player.
yeah. So hopefully one of them can continue to develop and become that guy at third base that they need. But yeah, no, for sure that's would be their weakest link, depending on what they do with first base.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
but yeah,
yeah. It trade deadline trades are not over yet, and I'm excited to see because there's still a lot of big name players that are out there that not to the extent of a Juan Soto or somebody like that of that caliber, but like you still have Anthony Rizzo who's out there, Pete Alonso's still out there, Goldschmidt's out there. Apparently Arenado's out there. He's looking to get out of St. Louis, so
Yeah,
it's there's still a lot of players out there that could go to the Yankees. Could you imagine Nolan Arenado going to be a Yankee?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed, but
I mean, I know you wouldn't be opposed, but then at that point, it's the Yankees who are willing to spend all this money,
against the
and
Dodgers,
the Dodgers who are willing to spend an enormous amount of money. Um, it's
and you've got some players that big time prospects over. We can't forget there's big time prospects. Not all of them work out to be Otani, but there's big time prospects still expected to come over from Japan too. You
exactly.
got Roki Sasaki is a big pitching prospect. You got a third baseman over there in Matsuyama. Um, they've got all kinds of players over there that that's free game for anybody. Um, so there's plenty of options. I'm curious to see what the opening day roster is going to look like for that. But that's the fun part for every team. You don't know what the opening day roster is going to be for any team. It's going to be completely different on a year to year basis, and that's one of the great things about baseball. For your starting nine, yeah, you may have like five, six, sometimes seven people that were the starters last year, but a lot of times you're bringing in like it's very rare in baseball to have the exact same starting lineup from one year to the next. So
Buddy,
it's interesting.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah,
MLB is gonna be fun this year, especially with my Cubbies are making some trades. They're not done yet. That has been said today that they're eyeing some other prospects. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see.
yeah.
Been
Well, I think
I think the Cubs just need to fully dive into bolstering their pitching staff. Um, I think that we yeah, pitching is our biggest need at this
yeah,
point.
yeah, pitching and
They're
you
also
could
talking
just
about
bring in a few clutch bats
they're
too.
also talking about trading Nico Horner too.
I
Saw
did
that
not know that.
today. Yeah, I saw that
Well,
today.
only time will tell for that, I
Yep,
guess. And
yep.
do you have anything else for baseball you want to talk about? I
I'm
don't
good
think
on
it's
baseball.
still baseball right now. It's that time of the year. We will occasionally have groundbreaking news, but unless something like that happens, there's just not much to talk about for it at this time of the year. I'm just going to go ahead and just knock out. Jacob added some notes that he wanted us to go over for the NHL, so I'm just going to go ahead and read those off in his honor. Um, in terms of our Nashville Predators, Jacob believes that they should bench Saros until the All Star break, and I'm not going to give that name a shot, but
A
they're going
Noonan,
to. Noonan, he
a
wants
Noonan.
them to start him. Noonan is 7-5-0 in the Nets, and 1-1-1 as a Nashville Predator, allowing 2.33 goals uh, over that span. I'm assuming, and this is where my knowledge for hockey just isn't quite up to par, but that's okay. Um, the Predators beat a good Dallas Stars team 4-1. Um, it also holds. Oh,
And we're still on a Noonan.
Are we still okay? A Noonan. I'm sorry. A Noonan beat a good Dallas Stars team 4-1, and also holds the only win for the Preds in the last 10 games as a goalie. Saros is 6-14-5 in net, allowing 2.73 goals. So it's almost a whole half a goal average. And with more games, yeah, that's definitely noticeable. And Saros lost to a bad Colorado team that's 5-2 right now, or Oh
5-2.
no, they lost to them 5-2.
It's okay,
So
buddy.
many different records and all kinds of
Boing,
stuff.
boing, 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 boing.
And he's lost 9 out of his last 10 games. Let's see.
You want me to
Around
take
the
this? You
Yeah,
want me
you
to take
take it.
this?
You take
Okay.
this part. You got
So around the NHL,
it.
still in JP's honor here.
Yeah, in JP's
Oh gosh, Anthony Stolarov.
Are you sure you want to take it?
Yeah, Anthony,
Stolars.
whatever. Yeah, whatever his last name is for the Maple
Maple
Leafs is
Leaf.
out 4 to 6 weeks with a knee injury.
Get it up.
When the Winnipeg Jets sign first Chinese-born player ever, Kevin Heath. Congratulations to Kevin Heath.
That's a random fun fact. So okay. We're not good at hockey. If you can't.
I'm gonna say his name. I think it's Kiefer Sherwood. It's his
That's why
first.
I'm laughing too, because I'm just looking at some of the names on here and I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah, who Kiefer Sherwood gets his first hat trick as a Canucks beat Colorado. Okay, that's a good. That's a good one. That's a good. That hat trick's impressive. Hat trick is
Yeah,
very
hey,
impressive.
that's 3 goals. I know that.
Yeah. The Stanley Cup rematch between the Panthers and Oilers went in a 3 overtimes, and the Panthers won in a 6-5 thriller. I wish I would have watched that game so that I would have known that it was such a thriller.
Rumor has it is the Panthers put my profile pic up for the stream on in their locker room for a confidence boost and that's what gave them the motivation to bring home the dub. Anyways, moving on over moving on over to NBA. Have you kept up with your Bulls any? Do you know what's going on with them?
We suck, buddy.
The Knicks, they won their last game. They played the last time they played was on Sunday. They won 100 291 against the Orlando Magic. And sound like a broken record, but it's the same every single game. I mean, it's Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. Brunson dropped 31. Cat, Tyler, fun.
Mhm.
This one's a good stat for you. He scored 22 points and recorded 22 rebounds in that game. So really good for Cat. But
Yeah.
that's all I got for you for the NBA. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right,
You
now
know what? Since
to
we're
oh
changing it up, let's go NFL. Let's go NFL. We'll save
okay.
college football for last because
Hey,
I
hey,
feel like
hey.
that's going to be our longest topic because of what happened a couple days ago with the Heisman.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sounds good to me. I mean, we're just gonna rattle through some of these. Some of these are just not really much to say. I mean, the Ravens did what they were supposed to do against the New York Giants, handled their business 35-14. Um, the Jags, after a good start, what's on your neck right there, Tyler? What
I
is
don't
that?
know. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'll have
That's
to
what I
ask
was
you about
looking
that
at.
later.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Um,
Watchy.
After a good start, from the Jags, they weren't able to hold on. They fall 32-25. Both teams coming into the game were 3-10. Jets found that fourth win. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, the completion percentage wasn't good, but other than that, he had a pretty good game. Mac
Savant.
Jones again turns the ball over too much, and that's ultimately what cost him. I was wrong. Jared, Cody, if y'all are watching, I'm sorry. Cowboys dominated against the Panthers. Bryce Young threw 2 picks as well. Cooper Rush did his job, did what he was supposed to do. Rico Dowdle, dog. CeeDee Lamb, bigger dog. They did exactly what they were supposed
So,
to do.
so I'm gonna
Well,
stop. Continue with the Cowboys. Then
yeah,
I would like to go back.
I corrected myself. They didn't do what they were supposed to do because technically the Panthers were supposed to win, but they just kind of put people's foots in their mouth, like me, who thought that they were going to get beat by the Panthers, and that's on me for thinking that the Panthers were back to being decent, and they're not. All right, Tyler, what were you about to say?
I can't. You just skipped completely over the fact that Devontae Adams went 9 receptions for 198 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't trying to be go
just
into
wanted
every
to say
single
that.
statistic.
That was a vintage Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
Right
they were back. They were he's back. That connection. Um, the Commanders win a tight one over a beat up Saints team. That's honestly, I mean, it's good that they won, but it's a bad look that they barely won against the Spencer Rattler Saints. But Scary Terry continues to put up insane numbers. He is having a career year with rookie QB Jaden Daniels. I'm gonna save the next one for a minute. The Chiefs, another team, pretty much just did. They won. You know, not again, not the prettiest game from the Chiefs, but enough to get the job done. They're 13-1. You can't really complain if you're 13-1, no matter how bad or good some of these wins are. Um, Texans um, beat the Dolphins. Uh, you know, Tua threw three interceptions. That's not going to win you a whole lot of games. And CJ Stroud didn't really put up great numbers, but he didn't throw three interceptions. So sometimes that's all you need. You know, don't throw three
Yeah.
interceptions. Um, Bo Nix continues to win. This game is not was not
Wasn't
won
his
because
best.
of him. Huh?
Wasn't his best.
Yeah, he threw three interceptions as well. There was a lot of three interception games going around the league, and I'm gonna hold off on one of them for uh, at the end of our NFL talk. But there was a few of those this week, and Bo Nix held one of them. Anthony Richardson threw two picks, and Adonai Mitchell threw a pick six as well in that game. On a they were trying to do a double pass, reverse pass or whatever play, and it just did not work out for them.
No.
But Broncos dominated 31 to 13. The Cardinals did handled their light work over the Patriots 30-17. Buccaneers, I mean, the Chargers have been playing good this year. Tampa Bay just absolutely dominated that game 40-17. Um, Baker, four touchdowns. He only threw five incompletions. He threw one less incompletion or one more incompletion than touchdowns. That's crazy. He threw four touchdowns, only five incompletions. That's insane.
The Bucks are looking really good.
Yeah, they're a team that you don't want to catch in the first round of the playoffs. Um, and they're not going to
Oh,
have a first round bye. Oh my gosh.
breaking news:
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Michael
Tyler, do you want to go ahead and
Michael
say?
Penix Jr. is going to start for the Falcons and has been named starting quarterback moving forward.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to that game here in a second too. So I'm gonna talk more about why that change is happening here in a second. Let's just keep rattling through these. The Eagles take care of business against the Steelers, 27-13. Jalen Hurts had a really good game. AJ Brown also had a good game. Um, the Packers, I mean, Jordan Love, um, he had a great game. They demolished the Seahawks. Not much to say there.
I will
And
say, in fantasy football, I look like a genius because I picked up the Green Bay Packers defense. They got
yeah,
me
that helps.
16 points. Is
We're
okay.
sponsored by. We're
Yeah,
sponsored by.
yeah.
As you can see, Bush. If you want to throw us any sponsors, we're all ears. Um, let's see. Um, and then we're going to. Did you look at the picture again, or are you laughing at me doing that
Oh,
one?
I was laughing at you. You just casually decided to bring in a bush on.
And no, that's not why we've been laughing this whole time. For those, I know that Jacob, if you're still watching this tomorrow when you do start watching this, no, that is not the reason. Um, oh, someone commented. Who's that? Bears suck. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that
We're
here in a
getting to
second.
that game. We're getting to that.
Um, but Tyler, you just said the breaking news. Michael Penix will start going forward, and that's because Kirk Cousins has thrown one touchdown pass in the last what 5 games, and he's thrown 10 interceptions or 9 interceptions over that same span.
Yeah.
Um, the Falcons looked horrible offensively against a horrible Raiders team, a 2-12 now Raiders team. Um, Desmond Ritter was the starter against the Falcons. I mean, Kirk
He
Kirk
just
Cousins.
he just doesn't he's not making his quick decisions anymore. He's not being accurate with the football. It's just a bad scenario over there for him right now.
Yeah, and well, he has 16 interceptions on the season.
And
Um,
so okay, so since with the Michael Penix thing, right? Do you think it's a good move to put him in this late in the year? I mean, they're only
yeah.
they need the
Well,
Bucks to lose one more game, and they are in contention for a
well, that's I think that's exactly why they're doing it now because they clearly they feel Michael Penix is going to make their offense better.
right,
Um, they've given Michael Penix time to heal up a little bit because I know he was a little banged up at the end of um, last year in college. He's gotten time to just sit there, learn, just get practice reps. Um, be attentive to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a good person to learn from.
yeah.
Um, one thing, this is making the Falcons look a lot better in my opinion, because I know me included, a lot of people clowned the Falcons for how they handled their draft this off season because they just spent millions, 200 million on Kirk Cousins. And then in the first round of the same offseason, weeks later, you draft Michael Penix and shocked the world. And now he's actually playing, and it's like, okay, well, maybe they were onto something. I mean, at the time, I still think, like, what? But they're playing the New York Giants for Michael Penix's first game. I mean, he's going to get a chance to, it's still an NFL game, but
Are they on the road for that game?
no, it's a home game for the Falcons. He's going to get his feet wet against a 2-12 Giants team who is most definitely trying to tank at this point to secure a top pick for their next quarterback. So this is a good game to let Michael Penix start. If you're going to start him this late in the year, this is a perfect time to do it. And then they finish. Um, they have the Commanders the week after, and then they play at home against the Panthers. So those are two favorable. The Falcons, the Commanders are not going to be an easy task, but they can go 2-3 and be sitting at 9-8 and possibly in the wild card if they just take care of business against the Giants and the Panthers.
Yeah,
So it's interesting. I want to watch the Falcons because I'm curious. I like Michael Penix. Um,
I do too.
he's a good dude. Um, fun fact about him. He was supposed to, um, he was committed to Tennessee out of high school, but Jeremy Pruitt told him that he didn't want him. He was a Butch Jones recruit, and once Jeremy Pruitt took over, he said, "Hey, we don't want to like keep your scholarship. We're gonna withdraw it." And we saw how Jeremy Pruitt's teams went, and um, we saw how Michael Penix's career went. So that's
Yeah,
yeah.
we got another
Uh,
comment.
I completely skipped over that game, by the way. I just realized that.
The Lions don't suck. They have like 12 injuries going on right now.
Yeah, I don't know how we just how I completely skipped over that game. I was the best game of the weekend. What could be game of the year. I mean, just a really good game. Um, Bills win 48-42. Um, that's your possible Super Bowl matchup. Tyler, I think you said that
I did say that.
last episode. Yeah.
I did say that.
Goff threw 5 touchdowns and 500 yards. Um,
Against a good
Josh,
Bills defense.
yeah, Josh Allen threw for 362 with 2 touchdowns, but he also ran for 2 touchdowns. I mean, just if you like offense, they didn't throw a single pick in that game. Just if you like offense, that was the game for you. They combined for um, what did it 9 touchdowns?
Yeah. Goff had
Uh,
5 and
yeah,
Allen had 4.
yeah. So just insane. Very possible to be a rematch for those two teams in the Super Bowl. Um, yeah, well, I think that's because of the injuries too, Zach. I mean, that it's just tough. I mean, I think Dan Campbell's doing an amazing job to have these boys at 12-2 with some of the circumstances. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson's like arguably the heart of the team, and to lose him that way, like it's very easy for teams to just roll over and like, oh,
Did you see
well,
that there's a
we're screwed.
possibility? There's a possibility that he might be coming back in the playoffs. That his recovery is like going quicker than they thought, and that obviously it's going to be late in the playoffs, but or maybe even the Super Bowl if they make it to that point. But that would be if he let's just say he comes back and they're in the Super Bowl and he comes back for Super Bowl Sunday. I mean that's a big piece of your defense right there.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
I'm
they would
checking
obviously
the
love
run.
to have him back. He would be a difference maker. They just got to keep holding on and keep winning until he comes back. Um, Tyler, do you want to do the Bears first or the Titans?
I don't know which one's going to be longer, so I think it's I think we're both in
I can just knock mine out.
we're in a yeah.
Did you
Go ahead.
know, Tyler? I'm just gonna hit you with a bunch of did you knows in this on this game. Did you know that this game, the Bengals and Titans, had the most turnovers in the NFL since 2009 with 10 turnovers? There was 10 combined turnovers in this football game, Tyler. Um, Will Levis, uh, he threw 3 interceptions and he fumbled. Mason Rudolph threw a pick. Joe Burrow threw 2 picks. Um, Titans forced a few fumbles. It's just just a good day for the defenses, I guess. But at the same time, no, not really, because it was 37-27. So just a lot of turnovers. Ugly football on both sides. Will Levis. Let me just get back to him for a second, Tyler, if I may. Um, he started out really good. He started out like 6 for 6 passing, and then he's been dealing with the shoulder injury and everything. So we decided to dial up a designed quarterback run, and which is fine unless you do what the Titans did and just don't even block Trey Hendrickson on the edge, and he just gets a free shot at Will Levis and forces the fumble, just demolishes him. And then the next drive, he throws a pick. A little bit later, oh, there's a pick. And then the icing on the cake, he threw a pick six. And some of those throws, there was not a single ounce of pressure on him. He had the most wide open pocket. So it's not like he was rushed into those throws. He just wasn't seeing the field, which is worse. And yeah, yeah, the Mayo Man. It was announced today that Brian Callahan is benching him for Mason Rudolph. But I don't really know how I feel about that, Tyler.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like it. I don't like it. But I'm going to say this right now: the Tennessee Titans quarterback scenario right now is completely garbage. They
Yeah,
have they have Will Levis who just I mean, at this point, you might as well just take a fan out of the stands and put them in pads and hope for the best.
I mean, I know you remember how I used to play back in the days in the backyard, throwing the rock, and maybe they should get me out there.
Give you
Um,
some pads.
yeah.
But don't worry, Dylan. I think that when you do that, I think they do have a size for Pee Wee football players so that you can wear it.
Well, that's what I would need. I would need like, because except for the shoulder part, because those are just broad and too big. I would need, Derrick Henry's shoulder pads, but like everything else, yeah, just
You need the
small.
kickers. You need the kickers shoulder pads.
Yeah, but
They're just basically jersey.
yeah, but I mean, we're 3-11. I get it in a way, but at the same time, I don't get it. We're 3-11. They're making the switch because they think that Mason Rudolph can win them more games. The Titans don't need
They don't need to win
to
any
win
more
more
games.
games, but I think Brian Callahan needs to because he's trying to save his job. I do fear if he keeps losing that they're going to fire him, and I actually do really like our head coach. He just has Will Levis as his starting quarterback.
So do you really think that he would be a one and done?
It's hard. It's always hard to tell when you lose in the NFL because they have such short leashes. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what goes on in those offices and the discussions with the owner and everything, but like it's hard to keep a job when even if it is your rookie head coaching year, and this was supposed to be a rebuilding year anyways. That's what I'm holding hope on, but winning would be the worst thing for this team. But even if they do lose, like they just lost this week, they didn't get any better draft wise. They still have the sixth pick, and that's the thing. I wish we could just skip next year, just completely, just skip. I love football, so obviously I don't actually want that, but there's no hope for their quarterback situation because Cam Ward and Shadur Sanders, they're going to be picked in the top two. Both of them, it's just the
I know
Giants and
we
the Raiders are both going to pick them.
I know we joke about it, but I mean maybe Jalen Milrow might
Yeah,
be
well, that's
the
what I'm about
Titans
to.
saving
Yeah,
grace.
give me a second. Give me a second. Let me cook. Let me cook. So yeah, you got Cam Ward and Shadur Sanders going to go 1 and 2. Titans aren't going to be picking that high. They still play the Jags. So there's still a chance that they win. And if they're moving to Mason Rudolph, he will play a cleaner game. Um, he's not going to throw the ball down the field as often as Will Levis, so it may not be as explosive. But he's not going to he's not going to turn the ball over 5 times in a game either. Um, he's the kind of guy that he will beat you if you beat yourselves. Like Will Levis, if a team's beating themselves, like what the Bengals tried to do, he didn't capitalize on it. Mason Rudolph, if you let him start at the 30-yard line, he's at least going to get you some points. Like you're not going to go in empty-handed like you do quite often with Will Levis. But you're not going to have those deep bombs like Will Levis provides you every now and then. So, but anyways, you're going to miss out on the top two quarterbacks. Um, the free agent class doesn't. I mean, your best option Sam Darnold, um, maybe Jameis, but the Browns would be, you know, not the wisest if they decided to let go of him, in my opinion, because I love Jameis. Point is, there's not a whole lot of good options for free agent wise. And then, yeah, then you're left with, okay, well, you can draft a Carson Beck, a Jalen Milrow, or someone like that, but then you're in the same boat. Like, I don't think you would give that guy 1 season, and then if they, because that's, if they would have done that same thing, Will Levis wouldn't have played this year, and we would have gotten one of the 8 quarterbacks that were picked in the first round last year. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not a whole lot of hope for the Titans, I guess. But let's move on to your Bears, because the Titans just make me sick. So
Buddy, I'm not far behind you. Um I'm I'm to the point now where watching the Bears last night was just absolutely disgusting. Like I don't know why I watched it. Our offensive line terrible. Caleb Williams. looked like he had no idea what he was doing. Our receivers just didn't play well. We are running the ball with DJ Moore instead of using him as a very good wide receiver. What he is, um, Keenan Allen was dropping passes left and right, but he did have that one amazing catch on the sideline.
Yeah, I
They're-
mean,
They they show flashes of where they could be, but then they revert back to just being absolutely terrible.
yeah, I mean,
And
I think that the Bears, their obviously main focus this offseason will be to bring in a good head coach.
yeah,
Um, but truthfully, I think that's really they need O line. I think that's what the Bears are going to be drafting is O line. But um, I think they really just need a good head coach that knows what he's doing, can manage a football team, and because the Bears have talent. Again, we've said it.
so
They have talent.
I did see something that Troy Aikman said on Monday Night Football last night that the Bears should go after Kyle Shanahan as their new head coach.
How would they get Kyle
I
Shanahan?
don't know. I don't know. But if Kyle Shanahan came to the Bears,
Why would he leave? So do you think Kyle Shanahan's going to get fired?
no,
I don't think he would
no, I don't
leave
think
to.
he's not going to get fired. He's not going to get fired. But I feel like bringing in a Kyle Shanahan type coach is kind of along the lines of what Aikman was saying. But um, but if Kyle Shanahan wants to come to the Bears and make the Bears better, I'm all for it. But it's not happening.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I just, I
I
mean,
still
I don't know.
I still think the thing with Caleb Williams is yes, he makes boneheaded plays, but if you look at the big picture, he he's just under 3,000 passing yards on the year with 3 games left.
I will say, in Bears franchise, he is the number one rookie quarterback for passing yards and touchdowns.
Yeah, well, he's just under 3,000 passing yards. He has 17 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions, which is great. I mean, it could be way worse, I guess is what I'm saying. Like he could just be just slinging it to the other team left and right, and he's taking care of the football. He now last night, I wouldn't say he took care of the football. Like it's just the defense didn't catch one of them mainly. But he's not. But interceptions are going to happen. But like still, only 5 in his
My
rookie year. I mean that's uh, you
my
know
thing is it's not that he takes care of the football. It's the accuracy problem that he is having,
yeah.
and it is just it's so bad. Like
That's what I think he needs a coach to come in, a good coach that can
and
tell him, "Hey, you don't need to play superhero. You're talented enough. Just sit there. Quit trying to run around, do all this, craziness that he is good at. Like sometimes it works sometimes, and that's great. But like, just standing there and fire a guy. I think that's why his completion percentage isn't that great because he's always trying to
and
make those
and I'm gonna
throws.
defend him a little bit too because he's having the same problem that I said to everybody that Justin Fields was having. We cannot keep the same coach for our quarterback. Caleb Williams had Eberflus who got fired, offensive coordinator who got fired. So now he's on his third coach, and it's like he. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I don't even have words to describe. Like he's all I want to see from him is make accurate throws, and he's just not.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he finishes the year, but I think when it's all said and done, at the end of the season, looking back, numbers wise, I think you'll be very pleased to see like um, what it looks like. I mean, yes, he has plenty of room to improve, but that's the great thing about him being just a rookie. He has a lot of years ahead of him. Yeah, the O line.
That's their
Um,
biggest issue. Their biggest issue is the O line. And
yeah,
if because like we last night we had our left tackle was a rookie, his first start of the season, and he absolutely was getting cooked all night. In that play where Caleb Williams fumbled the ball, he got absolutely smoked because our left tackle just didn't even just completely got burned, and
yeah,
he had no reaction time to it.
yeah. Well,
And obviously he's a rookie and it's his first start, but
yeah. I mean, you've got the receivers, you got the running back, you've got the tight end. Offensively, they just need to sh- beef up the O line, strengthen it, make it more solidified, um, to protect your investment of Caleb Williams, and I think that will just fixing that, which obviously, if they get a rookie offensive lineman in the first round, normally, especially tackle, rookie offensive tackles in the NFL struggle at first, so that's going to be something, just because they draft one in the first round, that doesn't mean it's going to be fixed instantly.
no.
But you have to get something to build on that O line for the future, and they are. I would put money on it that that is what they're going to spend their first round pick on this year, is an offensive lineman. Um, they
And
could go
I hope they
defense,
do.
but
I hope they do. Like
yeah, I mean, if they're taking an offensive player, it has to be O line. They there's no
it
point.
has to be.
Yeah,
There's no other option at this point. You were watching your first number one overall pick get absolute. He has been sacked 56. Was it what is it 56 times? 57, 58, something like that this season. That is third most since like David Carr and
yeah, 58.
who was it? Who's the other one? David Carr and somebody else. And at some point, like you low key have to feel bad for Caleb because he's getting absolutely murdered half the time,
Yeah,
and he has no time to throw. And when he does have time to throw, he's making terrible throws. Like his accuracy is just terrible. So then it's like so then you have to rely on DJ Moore running those jet sweep runs, and then you have to rely on DeAndre Swift. And I mean, if I'm a defense, I am going to make Caleb Williams throw the ball,
yeah.
and we'll see. We'll see how that goes. They have the Lions this weekend, so
Um,
we saw how that happened last time on Thanksgiving Day. So might be a
yeah.
blowout.
Well, and my Titans have the Colts, so both really bad teams as
Yep,
we've seen.
yep. Toilet bowl.
Let's see. I think we're good on NFL then. I guess
You
we'll
ready
just
to go
jump it
college,
up with college. Yeah.
buddy? I'm gonna take the lead on this one. Okay. So we had the Heisman selection the other day. If you're Ashton Genty, you have to know that you 100% got snuffed. You got robbed of winning a Heisman. Like I don't think Travis Hunter should have won it at all. I'm not saying Travis Hunter is a bad player, but if you look at the Heisman for a receiver and a corner, which Travis Hunter plays both sides. Cool, congrats. He's nowhere near the stat category for a receiver or a corner. Not saying he's not good, but Ashton Genty is out here basically carrying his whole team to a first round bye in the college football playoff, and they robbed him.
Yeah. I'm not entirely mad. I think it could have gone either way. I mean, I think it does mean something to play pretty much every single snap on both sides of the ball. Like, obviously in blowouts, if he doesn't play the whole game, that's different. But in meaningful games, in meaningful snaps, in close games, he is on the field 24/7, and that's a good Colorado team. Um, they had a good year, completely flipped record-wise from last year, and they were contenders for the college football playoff. Um, I'm not mad at it. I mean, I think my defense with it is we have seen seasons like this from what Genty got. Um, it's very few and far between when you have someone that, and I know his offensive numbers, he didn't have the most touchdowns in college. He didn't have the most receiving yards. He didn't have the most interceptions, but he had really good numbers on both sides of the ball. And that has to mean something. And he is the best player in college football. It's questionable. Yeah, Ashton Genty. Um, you can. It's obviously an argument that he possibly had the better season, but I think Travis Hunter is the best player um, in the country. And really, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's hard to pick between the two. I think they both. It just sucks that for both of them that they were in the same year as each other. I mean, Tyler, for an example, your senior year playing baseball, Cumberland had a guy. He didn't win NAIA Player of the Year because he just happened. He hit over 500 with 32 home runs, but he just happened to play in the same season that someone else hit 400, broke the NAIA record for stolen bases, and hit 30 home runs as well. Like it's just they both would have won Player of the Year any other season except for the one where they went in the same year. And it's just one of those cases, if they both had the season last year, they would have won it last year. If they
Yeah.
had it next year, probably wouldn't have won it next year. But they both had it in the exact same season. It's just one of those things that sucks. But Ashton Genty, I'm sure, I obviously bummed he didn't win it, but I'm sure he's going to be just fine when he gets drafted in the first round in a few months, and he's about to
Yeah.
represent Boise State in the college football playoffs. That's something that he can hold his hat on to. Yeah, I didn't win the Heisman, but I still have a season that's going on right now, and I can still compete for a national championship. So
Yeah.
I think
I'm
Ashton Genty is definitely in a better spot and would be happy with where he's at either way.
I'm Zach was just calling me. He wanted to call in, but I wasn't going to interrupt you while you were in the middle of going through your little spiel. Um, he told me to look up Charles Woodson's stats, right? Because Charles Woodson, when he
Hmm.
won Heisman, he played both sides of the ball. So Charles Woodson had 44 tackles, one sack, 8 picks. He for receiving, he had no, he didn't play that. He didn't play both sides of the ball much, but he had 12 receptions for 238 yards,
Yeah.
and he had one touchdown. So I mean, I guess I guess in that case, Travis Hunter did exceed that, especially receiving side. Um,
Do you hear?
I don't know. Yeah, I do. I would. I don't know. It's just
I
because
mean,
okay. So Cody brought up a good point last night when we were talking about it, and he was saying like so basically now so Ashton Genty in his case, right? He was he had so many games this year where they pulled him out because they didn't want him to get hurt. So then, like, who knows what he could have had if he would have stayed in those games, right? So now you have guys that are coming up and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I want to play both sides of the ball. And then so is that like a leg up for guys who are just a running back or just a quarterback or you see what I'm saying?
we'll see. But my whole thing with that is Travis Hunter didn't play every single like he got taken out of games too. When they were up big against teams. He didn't in their last game of the year, um,
But
in rivalry week.
that's their
But
last game of the year though. So
yeah, but he had I don't know if you know out loud what his stats are, but had 1,100 receiving yards with 14 receiving touchdowns. He had
Okay.
one rushing touchdown, and on defense, he forced one fumble and he had four interceptions. So he had four picks, 15 total touchdowns, and he forced a fumble. Um, and he had 31
One
total
total
tackles.
tackles.
Um,
Oh,
it's just
it's
one of
just
those
one of those
things
things.
like, I'm not saying, obviously, it's similar situation. How you just said, okay, well, he plays both sides of the ball. Does that mean if someone else comes in next year and plays both sides of the ball, are they automatically going to win it over someone that plays one position? I think the same thing could be said about Otani in MLB when he's healthy pitching wise. He won it one year where his numbers on either side, they were both obviously really good, but wasn't the best in each respective category. But he did both. So like now, is it going to be the Shohei Otani Award just because he does both and no one else in the league does that? It's the same situation. I mean, it's like, you know, let's see. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, that is a fair point, though. I mean, I don't know that.
I think they would still both be the best player on the team. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, yeah, 100%. They would both be the best player on the team. Um, Trophy is the best player in the country. Maybe that made his team playoffs. I mean, yeah, but I mean, you can't deny what Travis Hunter did. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm not saying that he didn't play good. I'm not saying any of that. But he did something that was we're not used to seeing that. We're not used to seeing a both sides of the ball kind of guy who is going out there and playing almost every snap when he is out there. And I mean, I don't know. You can go either way
Did that
with it.
change your mind on it?
No, no, I'm still going with Ashton Genty should have 100% won it. But I'm
I will say to answer that last point, the last three Heisman winners didn't make the college football playoffs. So, because you had Jaden Daniels last year and you had Caleb Williams the year before that, and they also did not make the playoffs. Um,
yeah.
Now, before that, yeah, I mean, well, Lamar didn't make it either, I guess. It's it's like half and half since the college football playoffs has become a thing. Um, it's half and half.
Yeah,
So,
it's you can go either way on an argument or I do think that though even like I think those two Ashton Genty and Travis Hunter were by far the favorites to win it. 100 like I have no doubt in my mind that they had Dylan Gabriel there and Cam Ward there. I think that was just kind of to round out like round out the top four. I'm not saying that they didn't have good years, but look at the other two that had amazing years, right? So I don't know. It could have gone either way.
yeah.
I just think Genty should have won it. And that's my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's a fair case. I'm not saying um, that it's wrong to think that. I'm just saying I think it's a wrong mindset to not see how it could have gone either way. Because I was, I had no clue who was gonna win. Because they both, like, it's just what I said. Uh, any other year, if they just didn't play in the same season as each other, they would have won it.
Yeah.
Both of them would have won if they just. It's just one of those things. They just both put up an insane season, and it just happened to be in the same year, and they just picked the other guy. Um, I think Travis Hunter's gonna make whoever he goes to a better team, just because he can play both sides.
It depends. Now it depends on who he goes to. Like if he goes to a very wide receiver dominant team, then obviously I feel like they're going to try and push him to be more of a defensive player.
And that's the thing too. I think in the NFL he'll be better because of the fact that he's not gonna have to play every single snap like he had to at Colorado.
Right.
He will be able to do more of one or more of the other.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I also
it,
I
like
also
for instance, just for an example, I don't think we'll be high enough to draft him, but I'm just gonna use the Titans as an example because I know the Titans team better than anyone, like any other team in the league. If he got drafted to the Titans, he would mainly be a wide receiver, and we have good corners, so he wouldn't have to play corner that often. He would mainly be wide receiver, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I
and
guess that's my whole point.
yeah, and to that point, I think if he were to get drafted by the Bears, he's going to play more defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, he will have more production, I think, at one position in the NFL because of the fact that he's not going to be out there every single snap like he was in college
Yeah.
and high school and probably his whole life. So it's just one of those
Yeah,
things.
it'll be it. I don't know. It's it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. I don't know. It it's we'll just
Yeah,
have to wait and see.
yeah. And then Friday, I figured we could save our game predictions for the playoffs for Friday. This was really the only news. Navy upset Army. Um, Other than that, that was the only game, obviously, Army Navy week. So I don't have anything else. Um, if you have any final thoughts or if you're good,
I'm good, but Friday's going to be our is going to be a good episode. I think
there's a
Friday.
game that's going to be happening on Friday. I
Yeah,
guess
we
we can
got.
just go ahead and predict that
Yeah, we can go ahead and predict that because we'll be doing our show during that
during
game.
the game. Yeah, we can
Yeah,
like
yeah.
have like a little watch party.
So
Let's
it's
see.
Notre Dame and Indiana.
I already told you. I think Notre Dame's going to the going to the Natty. I don't think they'll win it, but I've got Notre Dame winning that one. Um,
I got Notre Dame winning that by pretty big.
yeah, I mean
I don't even think like I just don't see that being a. That's just not a good matchup. Like it's just not.
Indiana, they're having a dream season for themselves, and they should be proud. Honestly, they should be proud of how their season's gone, and even just to be there. Um, but if they didn't get beat as bad as they did against Ohio State in their only big game of the year, I would maybe think differently. But it's one of those things like until proven otherwise, I'm just gonna assume that they're not capable. They just had the luxury of having an easy schedules until they prove otherwise. So
Right.
that's all we have to go
And
off of is the
and
Ohio State
and
game.
this game's going to be at Notre Dame too. So
Yeah.
you know it's going to be
Yep.
crazy.
Zach, if you want to hear more about our opinions on that game, you'll have to tune in on Friday.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is they better show up. That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say. We'll save the
It'll be
rest of it
fun.
for yeah.
It'll be
It's going to be a
fun.
good game. It'll be
I'm excited.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This is gonna be good. I did see something real quick before. I know this is off the topic, but it is college football. I did see something where they were talking about how what if the college football playoff expanded to 16 teams, but hear me out. The 16 teams include the conference championship games. So like have gotta water my fish. Okay. So like let's say you had like your SEC championship game winner of that goes to the college football playoff. ACC winner goes Midwest. You know what I'm saying? Like just keep going like that. How would you feel about that?
So then you wouldn't have the if that happened, Tennessee wouldn't have made the playoffs this year.
Well, I know. I'm just saying like for a future reference. Like if it was just completely like somebody was like, what if they did this instead? And I was
I don't
like,
like
no.
that because let's say this year, for instance, Georgia or Texas had a way better season. They didn't have the strength schedule that some would hope, but Georgia had more losses. They won, so like Texas is just completely eliminated.
Yeah, I know. It was mixed opinions for me. I don't. I was just saying I saw it. I didn't. You know, it wasn't like, oh, they should do it. I was just saying
Well,
it'd be. I don't
you
know.
want to hit us with the good outro?
I do want to hit us with a good outro, Dylan. It was fun night. We I mean we laughed for what
5 minutes,
5 minutes straight. Like I couldn't
hard
even
laughing,
I couldn't even look at you. I couldn't even
wheezing.
breathe. Yeah, I was wheezing. I was laughing so hard. It was definitely fun though. I enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching the TJD Sports Podcast. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. And Dylan, what else they gotta do since JP wants to be overseas?
They gotta hit the notification bell,
And you'll never miss another,
and
or
you'll
you'll
never miss
never miss when
another.
we go live, and then
Oh,
you will never miss another moment of the TJD Sports Podcast.
there it is.
Yeah, I always got to hit it with that signature line.
Get to see our
Uh,
pretty faces.
yeah, you get to see our pretty faces. It's always fun. It's always a pleasure doing this with you guys. But yeah,
Agreed.
we'll be back on Friday with our. I think it'll be our primary of college football talk. I think that's probably
Yeah.
what we'll be talking about a
Well,
lot.
mainly, yeah, it'll be a Friday, or it'll be a college football.
Yeah, yeah,
Brief
but
NFL, mainly
yeah.
college.
We'll cover all that stuff first, and then we'll
Yeah.
go. Yeah, but thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back on Friday. Got to water my fish.